You're listening to the Chronicles of Living podcast, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. Now let's talk.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop on the road of life. You can't stop. You can't stop. Moving, keep that pace. You switching to gear. Let's go. As we climb up the hill, don't slow down. Pedal a little more. The mind is working. It's in control. Your wheels are turning a little more. Going higher and up the notch. Keep it steady. Don't watch the clock go round, round. Cycle. Life is a cycle. Life is a cycle. Life is a cycle. Life is a cycle. We are learning, always turning later. Cannot stop the time. Always merging into suit us as we ride. Switch it up. Switching to gear, let's go. As we climb up the hill, don't slow down. Pedal a little more. The mind is working, it's in control. Your wheels are turning a little more. Going higher and up the notch. Keep it steady, don't watch the clock go round, round. Cycle. Life is a cycle. Life is a cycle.
Visionary dreamers. I want to apologize for the technical difficulty today. I'm not sure what's going on, but I guess, hey, this is just one of those days. But y'all know how I do. I'm a rider. I ride it out because it's live. So what I'm going to do? It is what it is. Okay? So, to those who are just tuning in, this is Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from the world, saving you from yourself, saving you from some real bullshit. And you're listening to Chronicles of Living podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. And I thought I'd change it up today, and I want to say, you know, us extraordinary folks doing a damn thing the best way we can. I don't know what it was about today, but that's what God put on my spirit. I guess it's just time. I guess a lot of us have graduated to a new level. And today's topic is, the more you know, the more you grow. And I apologize for that technical difficulty in the beginning. I'm just like, wait a minute, I just test everything. But now I'm sitting here and I realize what happened. So just before I came on, I wanted to check something online. Matter of fact, I want to check to make sure that I was connected. You know, my Wi-Fi was connected because I thought I saw a signal that said it wasn't connected. So I went online and I just, typed in a podcast show. So I'm thinking now that maybe it was picking up on the website, podcast show at the same time. So nevertheless, I apologize. But y'all know shit happens, okay? You gotta roll with the punches, and that's what this show is about. Me showing y'all that no matter what happens, continue to do the damn thing the best way you can. That's why I say the best way you can, because everything is not going to be perfect all the time. But you got to know how to regroup, reset, and continue doing the damn thing. I don't panic. I just keep it moving. This is real. Like, and I just want y'all to get that. So it's good that it happened for anybody that never heard any other hiccups from any other shows. So you can see how I roll. Okay? You see that you shouldn't let life get in the way of your dreams and your visions. I know some people probably would have shut it down. When they heard all of that going on, they probably would have been like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to shut it down and I just come back another day, or I'm just going to quit. Oh my gosh, this is so messed up. I'm so embarrassed. This is how a lot of us think, and it gets in the way. And so, just like my topic, the more you know, the more you grow. So now, after the show, I'll investigate what happened, because once I figure out what happened, then I'll know more, then I'll grow on that factor. You know what I mean? And prayerfully, that won't happen again. So that's what we got to do in life. We got to, when certain situations happen, we got to investigate it. We got to do more reading on the topic or more research on the topic and figure out how is it that whatever it is that you're studying or the mistake or whatever, how can this add to my life? How can it help me to grow in a positive way? How can it help me connect the dots to other things that I have knowledge in, other things that I want to pursue in life? That is what life is all about. It's about us growing. I mean, picture yourself as, this human flower, you know? It's just like the story goes, you plant a seed, you got to throw some dirt on it, and you got to water it or let nature water it, and that seed has to take root, has to take time to grow into a beautiful flower. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what happens to us. A lot of stuff go on, the different dirt is thrown on us. Um, people talk about us, people, try to get over on us, try to lie on us. And sometimes we just like, I don't know why. Why is this person doing this to me? I don't understand. So that's where the more you know, the more you grow can come into play. Because if you don't view that person as a vindictive person, trying to harm you, but you actually pray for this person because really they're harming themselves when they do certain things to you, it's just a reflection of how they feel about themselves. And they're just trying to project that on you because they don't feel good about themselves, you know? And as they say, things come back around again. And then sometimes when people do things to you and you realize that, okay, this is not really personal, this is something that they're dealing with. But that same person have somebody do the same thing back to them. Most of the time they can't take it. That's what happens. A lot of times when people throw dirt, they can't catch the dirt. They don't want it. They don't want it back on them, you know? But that is a way that if you are a person that has done wrong to someone, and I'm guilty of it, years ago, I'm telling you, you did not want to rub me the wrong way because you don't want me to pay you back. I'm better now. I try my best not to get involved in no drama. But anyway, you know, it's not until the person receives the same type of action um, done to them, if I could say it that way. Y'all know sometimes I jack up the grammar. But anyway, when it happens to them, that's when they can have the feeling. Now, they might not feel the same way the other person did, but they get to feel how it feels for somebody to do what they did to them. And a lot of times that's how we learn our lessons in life, through feeling, through emotion. Um, that's one of the ways that we get a chance to grow. We, like, this podcast show is really me teaching you through my growing pains, through the things that I have experienced in life. And, oh, this is still going with what I'm saying, but this, I guess I want to call it a quote, just came in my head. I just got finished with my team doing a live stream for the president of our job. And he said something that stuck out to me. He's always awesome. I love this man. But like I said, I just try not to say anything about um my job name and stuff like that. Just like I don't say nobody else's name. Just conflict of interest. I don't want to. Anyway, but I love this man. He is so calm, and when he talks, he's so soothing. Sometimes he reminds me of somebody that could just tell a bedtime story. I'm telling you, he just got that real chill vibe about him. But he said, and I might be misquoting him, but he said something on this line: we learn what we value through experience. And I was like, you know what? That's deep. I mean, I talk about our experience and how, we should value our time, value ourselves. But it's like he said some of the things, he put it together in like a simple sentence, where I kind of spread some things out. But we learn what we value through our experience. I was like, I'm watching the time and making sure I'm doing my part as far as my job. But when he said that, I was like, it just hit me. And I'm like, it's so true, because in life, as we experience things, certain things we're going to find value in. And those are the things that we're going to retain. Those are the things that we're going to remember, you know? It's just like you can meet 10 people in one room, but out of those 10 people, you might remember two of their names because you might have had a more valuable conversation with those two people. So therefore, you remember them. You have something to remember them by. And then from their conversations, you took something away that maybe made you look at your life, and you gained some knowledge from their conversations. So therefore, you value those conversations. And that is a part of growing. I mean, when I say the more you know, the more you grow, that comes from so many different angles. I mean, it could come from a book side of things, or it could come from a mistake or a failure side of things. It could come from a relationship side of things. You keep going for the same type of guy, same type of girl, and ending up with the same type of mess, you know? So at some point, You hit a wall and you're like, wait a minute, this is the same scenery, the same environment, same, you know, type of argument, but it's just a different person with a different name. Bingo, you grew a little bit more. That's how we grow. When we start acknowledging the things that don't benefit us and we pay close attention to how we can change that part of us, you know? When I was young, I could remember my grandmom, she would take us all to church. She would drag us to church. And the only reason why I'm going to say drag is because it was like you lived in that household, you had to go to church. She, God bless her heart. I love the fact that she took me to church because that was my first introduction to the spirit realm. It was Baptist church, you know, and but it was my first experience learning about God, learning about Jesus, learning about the Bible. You know, some people don't think the Bible is true. Some people, you know, whatever. But one thing I can say, and this is what I taught my son, you don't have to believe that every word in that Bible strictly came from God and, you know, some man didn't come in and alter it. But the bottom line is this: those verses in the Bible, if you really read them with your heart open, they can help you navigate life in an awesome way. Even the verses that's so-called negative with war and stuff like that, you learn so much from the stories because to me, the Bible is like a big storybook. You got all these different stories in it, and all of the results from the actions that people took, the attitudes that people had, and what they received because of their attitudes, the discipline that some had, and the rewards they received, but the perseverance that people had to have in order to get to the point to receive those rewards. Those were growing stages in their life. And reading stories like that can help you look at your life and say, you know what? I'm probably overreacting to this, or, you know, man, I'm living good. If you start thinking about 50 years ago, we have come a long way. You know, you start reading and learning about those different stages in life and where we are now with technology and all of this stuff going on. You'll start appreciating life more. It's like, it seems like every generation get those complainers. And those complainers just don't realize how good they have it until they decide that they want to know more. They want to know what happened in the past to get them to this part of life, this far in life, you know? And I just think that we owe it to people that came before us to start researching and start gaining knowledge of how we have evolved to this point with the world, with life, you know, with environment, so that we can be more thankful. And once we become more thankful, that's when we can grow more. Because when you're thankful for one thing, then you graduate from whatever growing pains you had to go through to get to that point of thankfulness. you know? And back to my grandma. So, with a knowing more and growing more came in for me was I looked at the fact that, okay, we go to church. My grandma, she sings on a choir, even though God bless her heart, she really wasn't a singer, but she used to jack those words up. But she did what she wanted to do, and she did it loud and proud, messing up the words and all. She used to crack me up. And that showed me something. I mean, I've learned so many things. I've learned that one, service, you know, she used to usher sometimes as well. So, service to other people. I learned that. And my aunt, my grandpa's sister, um, used to go to the same church and serve on the choir too. So I learned at a young age the importance of serving through watching them usher and sing on a choir, even though they weren't the Supremes. You know what I mean? They just wanted to rejoice and be thankful and send out praises for um, their life, for their family. And another thing I learned from that on the opposite side was my grandpa used to drive us to church, but he would never come in the church. He just was faithful. He would get up, drive us to church, and come back and pick us up. And it wasn't, and I always would think, like, why grandpa never come to church? And this is where, again, more knowledge, more growing. So it wasn't until I was, what, I wasn't 40 yet. I think I was my late 30s. And this is one of the times I moved back to Philadelphia and I had this house. And my grandpa, I was doing mortgage then, so my time was flexible. And he used to come over for lunch every now and then. We would talk. And I could remember, and we would just have these deep conversations and debate and stuff like that. But we just had, basically, it taught me a lot. The conversation that we had, I went out for a minute, okay? So let me repeat that. I think I went out for a minute. So I asked my grandpa, why is it that he never came to church? And he went on to tell the story about a pastor stealing money from a church when he was young. And basically, that was it for him. That was it just sold him that all pastors steal money. So again, you know more, you grow more. Okay? So at this time, I had been to Georgia. I visited plenty of churches because I was on this journey. And, years before that, I brought the book, Purpose Driven Life. And I'm sorry, I don't want to jack up the author name right now, but I will put it on my blog one day. I'm not going to say tomorrow, but I'm going to do it. So, Purpose Driven Life. And I started really, from that book, I started learning more about purpose and about, God. And I know that's not the Bible, but this is what I'm saying about the more you know, the more you grow. So sometimes it's not that you will learn about the spirit realm more from a spiritual book. Sometimes you'll learn from another book or just from a conversation with a person. The bottom line is learning more so you can grow more. And through reading that book, it gave me a lot. And I wound up sharing the book with my little cousins and stuff. And I never forget how they came to me and they were like, oh, God made the earth. God made, this, that. And I'm like, wow, y'all really don't know about God. And I just burnt these auto CDs because I had got it in audio form and book form and just gave it to all of them. Now, I didn't pressure them, Some of them, learned from it, and some of them didn't. That's all a part of the more you know, the more you grow. Because when you learn that everything ain't for everybody at every time, then you know that when you're excited about something, everybody's not going to be excited about it. And you got to be okay with that, you know? So I know this is kind of like I'm going back and forth, but I'm trying to get it all in. And so, that book opened up a lot of stuff for me and it helped me to have a conversation with my little cousins. And it really helped me to have a great conversation with my grandpa and going back and forth and giving different scenarios as to why he shouldn't just put, the church in a box. Now, I'm not sitting here saying I don't go to church right now. You know, I just feel like different seasons of your life is meant for different things. And this is just not the season that I'm in. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I might not go to church no more. Maybe I'll just continue my relationship with God the way I am now. I, for me, I have a closer relationship, you know. But every now and then, I will I listen to Joel Osteen and T.D. Jakes and Joyce Myers. I have learned so much from them. They have helped me to grow into this person that I am today from the knowledge and the wisdom that I gained from listening to them, from reading their books. I have their books right now. Reading their books, listening to their audio books. I've learned so much and I've grown so much. And so I can listen to somebody, hear them out, have patience, and take my time as to going back and forth. So, long story short, with my grandpa, I was able to, I'm not going to say convince him because my grandpa is smart as a whip, but I was able to open him up to view the church in a different light because I was able to paint different pictures of churches that help the community and help people and stuff like that versus, okay, the church that's stealing from people. And paint the picture like it's the same thing when you have a job. You got some jobs that the boss look out for his employees and some jobs that the boss want to work the employees to death and don't respect them and don't value them. It's almost the same thing, but just in a different arena. So once you start looking at life like that, you view it and you just start analyzing stuff and you know more. That's how you can grow. That's how you can get out of that box, you know? And if you listen to the show, I told you my grandpa was an awesome man. That was the only area in life that I ever felt that he was in a box. And later on, he did wind up saying a prayer with me and giving his life to God and to Christ and really, starting to pray more and believe before he left here. So I'm grateful. And that was just my task, obviously. That was my task. See, when we're going through life and we're learning, all the dots connect. Everything connects, you know? It's like 15 years ago, or maybe more, I can remember coming across Napoleon Hill. That's an author and he's really good. Helps me. He helped me a whole lot. Just his, words and stuff like that as well to grow in a lot of areas. But I can remember going to this library in Georgia and coming across cassette tapes. That's just how old his stuff is. Cassette tapes, the book, the whole series or whatever like that. And do you know those cassette tapes are in my storage in Georgia right now? But what's so funny is that I wound up coming across some more Napoleon Hill stuff when I was going through that rough patch in 2016. And I just started listening to his stuff again and bought his book. And I was open. I was ready to receive the knowledge and the wisdom that he had to offer. And this is what I'm saying. The more you know, the more you grow. You're not going to just gravitate to something and just get it right away. Sometimes God will show you something and put something in your face for later on in life. But it'll give you like a little snapshot of something. Like, yeah, this is something that you need to learn. This is something you need to gain the knowledge of. But then you won't think about it no more. You just go on with life. And then all of a sudden, here it comes again, you know? And I've learned that when you're not ready for something, it's just, I'm not going to say it's not good, but when you're not ready for something, you need to just wait and put it aside. It's times I brought books and I'm like, I want to read this book, and I put it aside. And then later on, just out of nowhere, I just pick up that book and just start reading it. Because when you force yourself to learn something, you don't retain the information, you know? It's just like when the computers first came out and I wanted to learn how to use a computer, you know? Um, I I don't even know how I found it, but if y'all been listening to the show, I tell y'all I'm a research queen. I'm sorry. I did learn that from my grandpa too. um, so I wanted to learn about computers, and I don't even know how I came across the information, but I found this little program, and they it was like a nonprofit program. And I can remember this man, he ran the program out of his house. He had like a 3-story house, but turned the house into like classes. Like the bottom had all these computers, and then the next floor had some little kind of talking space or whatever like that. I only I don't think I ever went to the 3rd floor, but those 2 floors I remember. And so I started learning how to use, you know, a PC from that place for free. And within that same program, they had another program that taught you about stocks, the stock market, and how to be a broker, a stockbroker, and all of this stuff. And I was like early 20s. This is how much, y'all, I've always been chasing knowledge. I was young. I can remember. I was so young that I didn't take it serious. I didn't know what I had. I didn't know that had I been ready to receive that information about becoming a stockbroker, oh my gosh, first of all, we probably wouldn't even be talking right now. Yes, we would in another way. I don't know. But I can remember dating this guy at that time, and the stockbrokers class was actually at a college. So this program was running one program out this house, but then they had connections with a popular Temple College in Philadelphia. And so every night, I think it was like 7 o'clock, he would drive me down and pick me up. And he was really on me about this class, and I wasn't taking it serious. And he was getting money in the streets, of course. I don't know back then. And but I just stopped going to the class. I never took it serious. I retained some information, but not enough to get money, get paper. But later on, years later, here I am. Went and got my license for annuities. Now I know about stocks, insurance, and you know, all of this good stuff. I understand it now. I had to grow. I had to get little bits and pieces of knowledge on the way. Getting into the mortgage field, wet my feet even more. Getting my notary and, doing paralegal work, all of this stuff, kind of was in the same type of industry. So while I went for my license some years ago, I wasn't ready to retain the knowledge. I wasn't ready to grow in that arena. So I would just let it go and just wait. And that's what we have to learn how to do. Don't get frustrated when you're trying to learn something and you just don't get it. Don't get frustrated with yourself. Be patient with yourself. As I said in my last show, be patient with yourself because everything is not meant for certain times in your life. Certain times in your life, you are supposed to learn a certain thing. It's like our brain is this big computer that just receives all of these downloads, all these programs that and it just keep going around in our brain and searching until the right software hits when we're ready for us to utilize, you know, if I could say it that way. We really are. We're like walking computers and we can crash and burn if we don't take care of our mindset, if we don't feed it the right knowledge, the right wisdom, if we don't pay attention to our intuition so we can grow our discernment about people and things so that we'll know what's good for us. Everything ain't for everybody, you know? And it's like like right now, I just switched positions at my job and I'm in a great field in the creative service department. It's right up my alley. So I'm working with the AV department, editing videos in the audio, and I'm learning the audio and the photography. I'm learning this part, but editing the videos is more what I'm helping with right now. So it's like when I think about how we got to take the raw footage from all the stuff we just shot and you take the raw footage and then you got to tweet it, you got to edit it, it's so many different parts. You got to slight this part and move this part over and throw away that part, delete that part. That's how we are. We see so many things throughout our days, throughout our life, and we're just like walking raw footage. And we have to continually cut and slice different pictures and images in our mindset that don't serve us. We have to, you know, let things connect to each other. We have to put different transitions in the video footage, in our movie footage. Different transitions and different ways and different fade outs of that chapter of our life. These are the things that we have to do to get to the end of our production for a certain phase in each part of our life. Each part of our life. I keep telling y'all are chapters. They're movies. They're little short movies. But we decide how we want the movie to play out. When we start paying attention to ourselves, paying attention to what we're doing, paying attention to what we're doing to ourselves. Is it good? Is it bad? Do I need to stop that habit? Do I need to create a new habit? These are the things that We need to learn about ourselves in order for us to have a blockbuster movie, to be this walk-in blockbuster, you know? And y'all know how I am. I'm real passionate about us becoming better beings, doing the things that we were placed here to do, or we came here to do, for real, for real. Our spirit came here to complete certain assignments, to complete a certain purpose in life. And excuse me, y'all. God bless me. And I'm sorry, I know I gotta sneeze again. Excuse me. This is live. I tell you, boy, this show is funny. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this because it is at my 40-minute mark. Sometimes you could be in a situation around people and they have this certain knowledge about things that you don't. What I found, and this is how I know I've grown, you don't have to know everything. Just because they are on the same page about this, you might be on a different page about something else. So, for example, real quick, I went out, with a couple of friends, and they were talking about these books that they've read, and they both kind of knew the books. They were novels, and I didn't know it. I didn't know the novels. I was like, no, I never read that. I never heard of that. And one of them said to me, well, hey, Deanna, I thought that you might have known about that or whatever. And I'm like, nope, I'm just not. And then I started talking about some of the books I read back when I was young. But they were talking about school books, and I went to performing arts, and I'm sorry. Wasn't a whole lot of book reading in performing arts. It's a lot of artsy stuff, but I don't know how it is now. I'm sure they might have changed. But I went to that school because that's what I wanted to do with my life. And this is what I'm saying. So the books that I read, you know, um, are different from the books that they're into because their purpose in life is their purpose in life, and my purpose in life is my purpose in life. So my spirit is going to gravitate towards things that I need to learn for my purpose in life. You get it? So the books that I read, the things that I watch, the movies that I'm attracted to, the documentaries that I watch that I'm attracted to. When I did watch TV, the TV shows that I was attracted to, the music that I listened to, it's not going to mirror a friend's just because they're my friend, or associate just because they're my associate. And you have to learn to be okay with that. Because again, we are walking computers. We can crash and burn if we overload with too much information, and information that does not benefit our purpose in life. Stick to what benefits you. And I'm not saying that's not nothing against them. That was good. This is where I learned more. You know more, you grow more. And that was a growing situation for me. Because I'm like, hey, no, I never heard of those books. I'm saying to myself, why I didn't hear those books? Well, then I thought about it's like, oh, they're novels. I'm really not a novel person. I'm more an informational book person, inspirational book, personal development books, holistic healing books, things of that nature. Those are the type of books that I'm drawn to, financial books. But this is the stuff that I talk to y'all about. Books that teach you about business and arts and stuff like those are the type of books that I have here with me and in my storage. And so once you realize that you don't have to know everything else, everything that everybody else know. You just need to know the things that you need to know for you to grow in your purpose in life so that you can go out there and do what you have assigned yourself to with excellence. This is what we need to get. So if somebody, like my girlfriends don't know, they're like, what is this annuity? What is the mortgage? I don't understand this stuff. Like, but yet there are smart in different things that I might call on them for. We all have our own purpose. We all have a certain direction, a certain path that we walk in life, you know? You know the saying goes, um, they act that way because they don't know no better. So don't take it personal. They don't know no better. We hear that all the time. And it's the truth. If a person don't know any better, they're ignorant to that knowledge that you know. And I mean ignorant in a way of just not knowing ignorant. Not ignorant as in just nasty ignorant, but ignorant in a sense of not knowing, you know. So I say all of this to say, um, let me say this one last thing I got there. Um, it's just like me doing this podcast show. I learned how to perform from going with my mom, my aunt, and watching them perform, watching them practice. So even though we're singing, and I can't sing a lick, please don't put me on nobody's stage trying to sing nobody's song, unless it's karaoke night. But I watched them at a young age. I saw the response that they got from the crowd. But I saw and I studied the energy that they gave off to the crowd. I saw how, and I felt how genuine they were with their gift, how they were giving their talent out in a way that's just like every now and then certain songs they had people crying and because they were really, how can I say, embedded in that talent there. They just felt it. They didn't just do it just because they could. They felt it and they made you feel it, you know? And watching them and getting the feeling from their performance and watching what they did to get the reaction from the crowd toward me, taught me how to deal with people, deal with crowds. You know more, you grow more, you know? So I just want to share some of those stories because they're all different in different ways so that, if you're into the arts, you can relate. And if you into finance, you can relate. I try to pretty much mix up a gumbo pot for y'all because I know I'm talking to so many different people. And I really want y'all to get it whichever way y'all need to get it, you know? So I'm going to leave y'all with this assignment. Write down what you learned this week. The end of this week, come Friday, write down what you learned throughout the week. And I'm going to say, wait until the end of the week because I want to see, well, I don't want to see, you need to see what did you retain from what you learned throughout the week. That's a good test for yourself, just to see how much you're paying attention, whether it be from your job, your spouse, your children, just life, period. Write down what you have learned at the end of this week, and then write down how does it benefit you and benefit the world. And keep doing this every week, and then go deeper. Write down what you learned last year. What did you learn last year about life, about yourself, about your spouse, your kids? How did you grow from what you learned? And if you can't write nothing down, then boo boo. You need to start paying attention more. You need to start paying attention more. You should be able to write some stuff down. And this is how you're going to tell if you're growing. Okay? So do that assignment, y'all. And I really want to keep talking about this topic. I don't know. I've just been in such a good mood. I'm always in a good mood, but still. So hopefully you enjoyed the show, and I made up for the technical difficulty in the beginning, because that was so wickety whack. And the crazy thing is, I don't even think I can I got to figure it out. I'm just going to leave it. Y'all got to know I'm real. Okay? So I will talk to y'all on Wednesday. I was about to say something. On Wednesday at 7 p.m. And you are listening to Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, from the world, from some real bullshit. And you're listening to Chronicles of Living podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know us extraordinary folk doing the damn thing. I love you guys. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Chronicles of Living, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. And if you are pursuing your dreams, I'm proud of you. Because the best part of life is when you decide to live. To keep up with us, please visit chronicles-of-livin-podcast. Until next time, this is Adionne, your dream pusher. I love you guys.